So today I'm going to be reviewing Rituel de Fille products. Not quite a brand review. I don't have like everything and I've not tried everything from the brand. I purchased a few products from the brand's Labor Day sale at the end of August and have been trying them ever since. And I have a lot of thoughts and they really range. They really range from positive to negative. Let's go ahead and get into it. I really have to level set though. So many things have happened in the last 30 minutes and I just washed my hair and I just, appreciate the hair. It's going up. Like, it's so hot in this house. So I was going to walk Dodger before I filmed this video for his little afternoon walk, because after I film this, I'm actually going to see Tron with my friends, mostly so I can see friends. I also have AMC stub list, something like that, whatever it's called, and I need to use it. And my friend really wants to see Tron. So Tron we are going to see. I was going to take Dodger on a walk. We literally step outside and quite unfortunate cinematic timing. We step outside and start sprinkling. I'm like, whatever, a little water won't kill us. Dodger disagrees. He really hates the rain. But it's sprinkling. I'm like, whatever. Dodger just, maybe it'll be a shorter walk than I thought. Not even a second later, he's mid-pee. He's like, all right, let's go. And I'm like, right. Peeing. Pouring. Like, it just starts pouring, and I probably should have changed my shirt, but whatever. It starts, like, pouring rain. Well, and not just pouring, but it's, like, it's clear in, like, 30 seconds it's really going to be crazy outside. And I'm like, okay, so he finishes peeing, and we're both like, that was crazy. Let's run inside. We run inside. It starts storming. And before we went on a walk, my neighbor was leaf blowing and whatnot. And I was like, oh, I'll go on a walk, and hopefully when we get back, he's done, so I can start filming. And then it started pouring, and I'm like, well, at least he won't be leaf blowing. Stupid of me to assume. He is still leaf blowing through this torrential downpour, through the thunder and lightning that is clearly happening in the area. And it's shocking to see. I keep looking out my window and there he is, still doing it, swearing very loudly, which maybe he'd have a better time if he just, like, waited. So just, like, a lot of shocking things. Like, it is so hot in this house. I am so hot. Dodger's confused because he didn't get his, like, full afternoon walk. Well, he's not really confused. He just wants dinner, but it's not dinner time yet, which he really hates. Rituel de Fille is a brand that I've always been interested in and I've always wanted to enjoy and been intrigued by. I think they have really beautiful branding. I think they have really beautiful packaging. I think they do really unique formulas and product colors and just product types in general. And it's just nice to see something different on the market that is a small indie brand that is made in-house, and just, like, a lot of really great things about Rituel de Fille on paper that align with what I would like as a consumer. The first time I tried Rituel de Fille in kind of a big way, I guess, I placed a pretty big order. This was probably at least 2 years ago. And I tried a sample of the thorn oil. I tried the thorn spray, the wild thornberry spray. I tried Intuition, the contour, their very famous, super cool contour. And what else? I also tried, and this is the only product I still have from that order, which may preview my my thoughts on that go around with Rituel de Fille. I have one of their rare light luminizers in Icebow, and this has been my only Rituel de Fille product in my collection for a pretty long time. Somewhere in that order too, Tom had... Oh, and I tried the mascara, which was awful. I really hated the mascara. And somewhere in all of that, Tom also sent a couple of their older eye sets in the old packaging, which honestly, by the time they really got to me, they were kind of already dried up and really hard to use. They also passed on one of the more glittery highlights, which just wasn't my gig at the time. I passed it on to a friend. So in that initial trial of Rituel de Fille, I was really disappointed, to be like really, really frank. I really like this highlighter. We'll get more into it because I have tried other shades in this go around. I found the thorn oil pretty disappointing. The face spray was really a small amount of product for not a lot of uses and wasn't anything special either. Intuition is just not the shade of contour for me. I know a lot of people really love that cool contour. On me and my complexion, I just don't like how it ends up looking usually. The mascara was awful. Like, probably... If I had to recommend a mascara to an enemy, I'd recommend that one, even though I know some people like it. It really did that awful thing on me where it gave me, like, 3 lashes because it was so thick and gloopy. And it actually reminds me a lot of the Live Tinted one that I currently have that I also despise. And I was just really disappointed because I really wanted to love Rituel de Fille. I really wanted to get into the brand. And for the last year or two, I've been like, I really want to retry them, give them another chance. Maybe I just tried the wrong products. I really feel like there's more here that I could enjoy. And it's just a brand I want to like, because again, the aesthetic, the innovation, the kind of core tenets, and some of the things I've seen the brand put out on their stances on various issues, like just really align with me. And also just like a whole slew of content creators love them. Like Andromeda has done a collab with them. They always post really gorgeous looks with Rituel de Fille products. Tom obviously enjoys quite a few of the things from the brand, and I just was like, I don't want to write off the brand because I did spend, and I spent a lot of money, well, not a lot, but I spent a good amount of money in both orders, and that initial order, I just was like really disappointed, and I was really not expecting to be so disappointed. So this go around, what I did, I bought a full size of their Creature of Light Illuminator. Well, I bought a full size of their Creature of Light Illuminator. I bought a full size of the concealer. And then I did one of their sample packs, which is such an amazing thing they offer. And I think they are sold in smaller retailers occasionally, but for the most part, you can find them in like an Ulta or a Sephora. I think they used to be an Ulta, but I don't know if that was just online, but they're not in Ulta anymore. And again, they may be in some smaller beauty retailers. I know some independent beauty boutiques carry them, but it's not a brand that's super available to try in person. So one of the great things they do that I think is so genius and thoughtful, and really great business practice. And, I'm not saying it's like altruistic, because obviously they are doing this in the interest of you buying products, but I think it's a really smart thing to do. And I think it's a really great thing from the consumer's perspective to do, is that they sell these sample packs, and they come in these like kind of plasticky acrylic cases, and for $15 you can try 5 of their products. Not all of their products are able to be sampled as of this point. I think some of their newer ones are not. Like, I don't think the concealer Creature of Light was on there. I could be wrong. Maybe Creature of Light was. You can go see on the website what they have available, but most of their products you can get a sample of. So I have here one of their eye sets. I have a couple of their Rare Luminizer highlighters because I wanted to try a couple of other shades. I have their eye gloss because that was a product I wouldn't have probably bought, but I still kind of wanted to try and sample it because I don't even know if I've tried an eye gloss. And I have their pot gel black eyeliner. It was really great because I was able to try a lot of different things. We'll get into pricing and stuff. Like, some of the things I'm like, wow, I think that's very well priced. Other things I think for me are probably a little beyond what I would spend on those specific items. Again, overall, this was a better experience. I'm not running for the hills. Everything's amazing. It's very product by product. There are some high highs and some low lows. So without further ado, we're going to get into the try on section of this video. I'm going to try all of these products on my face, with the exception of one that I'll explain when we get there. I usually start with eyeshadow, but since these are the only 2 full-size products I have, and I feel like the ones I can give like the best reviews on because I've experienced packaging and all of that, I did want to start with complexion because they're both complexion products. I have some skincare on, and I have brows on, as always. So we're going to start with, honestly, we're starting with the best. Like, we're leading with the news. We are starting with, in my opinion, the best product I've tried from Rituel de Fille, which is the Creature of Light Full Face Serum Illuminator. This is in actually the second deepest shade, the shade Glowing Creature. I will say the shade names are so confusing because it's called Creature of Light, but then some of the shades have creature in them, and I think we could have differentiated that a little bit better. That's a very minor complaint. This comes in super beautiful, heavy glass packaging, really sleek black cap, really, really nice pump. Pumps out exactly how much you want. Looks amazing on the vanity. You get so much product in here. You get 1.69 ounces of product in here. That is almost, well, not almost double, but it's pretty close. It's like 1.5 over what you get in like a Charlotte Tilbury. Well, no, because that's not double. Let's not get into the math of it. You get a significant amount more product than you get in something like the Charlotte Tilbury or the e.l.f. whatnot, the Lisa Eldridge, all of those versions of that. You get a lot more than the Lisa Eldridge. You get a lot of product in here. And let me find the price on this. This is $43. I'm pretty sure that's less than the full size of the Charlotte Tilbury product, and you get, I don't think I'm talking out of my ass here. You get like a lot more product in this, and I also think it's kind of better. There's a lot of these types of illuminators on the market. They all have varying degrees of, you know, texture and shine and mica and shades, all of that. I was so interested in trying this because I'd heard such amazing things about this, and I really love a product like this. I've moved away from being so dewy all the time, but I think having this as a base, like having an illuminator as a base, putting like maybe a little bit more soft matte products on top, it just looks so beautiful. This is the type of product where I could probably have like a row of them on my vanity and I'd be happy. Because I just find them really fun to use and review. So I was interested in trying this, but I also had the thought of like, how much better could this be than all of the products I just mentioned? And it's so special because you get, I'm going to swatch it on the back of my hand. You get a thicker texture, but it's also kind of a gel serum like texture. It reminds me a little of the Say in that regard, in that it's a gel texture. But you get the kind of high shine finish of an auric, but it's also not as like metallic-y and highlighter-y. But there's still, like, we're still dealing with makeup, but it also feels like a gel moisturizer. But it's not as natural looking as the Say one. It's kind of like the auric one and the Say one had a baby, in my opinion. And that's great because I really like both those products. I haven't used the auric one in years and years. I kind of want to retry it, but this is it blended out. And what I will say about the shades, the fairest shade is like a iridescent, like kind of almost like blue leaning one. I'm sure that's gorgeous. If they made a mini of it, maybe I would try that. I just know day to day that's not the vibe of my complexion usually. The second fairest is like a pinky peach one that just from the tone I think would look really off on me. This was like the most goldeny champagne tone, the second deepest, and there's 4 shades. And what it looked like to me was that almost any skin tone can use almost any of them. Again, I only have my skin tones, and I've only tried this one version of it, so I could be wrong. If you have experiences otherwise, please put them in the comments. But they seem to be very adaptable to skin tones, and their purpose is not really to leave much of a tint. I wouldn't say that this has really any coverage. It's pretty sheer on the base. Like, I think the deepest one would leave a cast on me, but would also probably be a really good option for like a bronzing drop type situation. So I'm really happy with the shade. It is not too deep for me at all, but I also think it would work. Most of these shades would work for most skin tones. I think if you have very deep skin or you have very light skin, the shades on the opposite end of the scale may not work for you, but I'm pretty sure there can be a purpose for each shade for a lot of different skin tones. Again, if I'm wrong, please tell me. That's just the conclusion I've come to based on trying this one shade and then from what I've seen of people trying this product. So I'm going to use this as kind of just like a primer base type thing today. And I'm going to use my hands. I do find my hands are like my favorite way to apply it because, again, it does just kind of feel like skincare. And you can do this really light layer and it's just like a really almost like glowy high shine moisturizer, but I'm going to build it up and use a lot of it because also, since I feel like the skincare in here is really nice, it does kind of soak into the skin too if your skin needs moisture. And then see, now we're getting a little bit more almost like metallic-y, cosmetic-y, but like in a way that I think is really gorgeous and also makes a really good base. It doesn't look... I remember one of the things about the auric is that it did look a little heavy in my pores right here. And for something that's as high shine as this, I feel like it's looking pretty nice. And there's like a little bit of a tint from the golden champagne-y, but as you can see, there's no real coverage. So I like the effect that, like, I think I chose the right shade for me. I don't think I would have liked either of the two that are fair, and I do think the bronzy one would have left too much of a cast on me. It maybe deepened my complexion just like a little bit, but again, we're gonna go in with concealer and such, which I would normally do. But I also think, like, you know, a fast base on a vacation, this would be really lovely. And then just to show it being built up and applied a different way, I'm going to apply just like a little bit on my cheeks with a brush. to show it really concentrated. You can see there's like a little bit more of that champagne-y gold pigment coming through when you apply it like super concentrated. But I just think my skin looks so gorgeous with this as the base. I think it wears nicely. Most things go really nicely over it. Again, I mean, $43 is expensive, but I think for the quality of packaging, for the uniqueness of the product, and for the amount of product you get in here, almost 1.7 ounces of product, that to me is actually a very, very, very fair price. So this is a home run hit for me. I clearly really, really love it. I would say this is, I don't want to say this is the only home run hit for me of the video, but everything else that I like has kind of a caveat to it. This is the one where I'm like, I think this is beautiful. Like, I really just love how my skin looks with this. And I think it's quite a special product. I do want to say it does have a fragrance. I wish it was the same fragrance as their highlighters, their Rare Light Luminizers. That one has the most delicious, like, lavendery, rosy fragrance. Or maybe it's just lavender, actually. It's like an herbal lavender. This is like a rose candy fragrance, or like a violet candy fragrance. Like, there's definitely some rose and probably some lavender, but it's like a lot sweeter. It does kind of linger at times, and I don't not like it, but I wouldn't say it's like... I definitely don't like it as much as I like the smell of the highlighters. The highlighters smell so good, but I really like lavender. And they're less sweet. They're more botanical. This smells a lot sweeter, and it can linger a little, especially if you've used as much as I just did, because I use kind of a lot. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I don't know what else to say. So now we're going to move on to something that I feel kind of the opposite about, which is the other complexion product I've tried from Rituel de Fille. This is their Soft Sorcery Concealer. I have the shade Spell... Wow, it actually scratched off on the bottom, but I'm pretty sure it's Spell 116. If it's not, I'll put it on the screen, but I'm pretty sure it's Spell 116. I was expecting this to be a home run, too. In fact, I think I would have put more money... I was actually more... This was kind of... The Creature of Light was kind of like a last minute... Should I go for it? Should I not? $43 is expensive. I was pretty sure I was going to love this, because people have given it such high reviews. And I'm not saying those reviews are wrong. Everyone has, especially with all makeup, honestly, but especially complexion makeup. It really just depends on your skin type and what you like as a finish and how things lay on your skin, whatever. But people are giving this such hype. And I love the packaging. Again, I love their new logo. This is so sleek, but classic. It doesn't feel like the heaviest concealer, but it's certainly not the lightest. I love the promise of, like, you know, soft sorcery concealer. That's, like, really good branding. And it's a bit of a thicker texture than I like, but I've liked concealers with thicker textures. I rebought the Milk Makeup one because I haven't used that one in a while, and I wanted to retry it because I haven't loved a lot of my concealers lately. That one has a thicker texture. So I was like, I feel like I've liked something like this before. I like that it's not advertised as too dewy. I like that it's more of a soft matte. And people were just like, it looks like skin. It looks great, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, I really should try this. First of all, I don't think I got the right shade. This is advertised as a golden olive shade, which looks like that to me. It's just a little deeper than I am right now. And it can leave a little bit of a cast on my face. Yeah. It's just a little yellow. And I think if it was lighter, it would actually be a pretty good undertone match. I have seen some olive complected people try this and not love that it wasn't olive enough and had more gold in it. So, you know. I was really confused on what shade I would be on the website, honestly. I think maybe I should have chosen like a rosier undertone. I don't know. I haven't been great at shade matching myself lately. And I think I'm neutral with golden undertones, but like usually like kind of toward the end of fair, but not in the light realm. But I also do have some pink in my skin, but not like a ton, but enough. Sure, who cares? But I can get past like a not great shade match. Like, I have things to brighten it up. Every time I wear this, it generally looks okay when it's going on. has pretty decent coverage, evens things out, gives a nice texture. I like the initial texture. It's not too dry, but it's definitely not dewy. The wear on this is bad on me. It wears very, very heavy. It wears... It looks like there's product on my skin. And what I will especially say, on my stubble, it looks horrible. And that is something that a lot of people don't deal with when they wear makeup, but I do. I can't even get into the saga that has been. I haven't been able to avoid laser hair removal, so I was getting laser hair removal and I was seeing results, and then I stopped, and a lot of it has come back, and I'm not in a good place with it, to be quite frank. So that's something I'm very sensitive to. I'm hoping to start laser hair removal again, but it's just like, it's a lot. It's expensive, and it's like trying to figure out the time, and everything's crazy right now. So that's just something I'm sensitive to. And I was like, is it just because my stubble is growing back and all products will look bad? Like, I just shaved like a couple of hours ago and there's still stubble because I have pretty thick stubble, especially when it grows back from the laser hair removal. But recently I have been trying a couple of newer complexion products. It's this, unfortunately. Those actually look quite good throughout the day on my stubble. You're never going to completely hide it or camouflage it, but things can wear better on top of it. And this, no matter what I put it on top of, no matter what I put on top of it, no matter what I set with it, no matter what setting sprays I use, setting powders, combinations of things, 3 or 4 hours into wearing this, I look at my beard area and I hate how it looks. It looks separated. It looks like it's emphasizing all of the hair. It looks dry. It looks like there once was makeup on there and it got like somebody went like this to it. That's what the wear looks like. I'll try to do a wear test of this in a couple of hours to hopefully show you that it looks bad, I guess. It blends out okay. It's just the wear on this really is what kills it for me. So I'm going to put it on. I'm not using any color corrector like I normally would. I may put some on top when we're done to kind of even it out. And I've heard this is like... Ooh, that was too much on my nose. I've heard this is a very good found sealer and that people really like it as an all-over complexion product. And that has not been my case, but I also think on the under eyes too, even when we're not dealing with stubble, I will look in a few hours after wearing it and it looks so creasy heavy. Just looks so heavy. I really do not like when complexion products look super heavy. I don't mind that I look like I have makeup on. I wear makeup. I'm pretty open about that. I do mind when it looks so heavy and like apparent on my skin. And this doesn't, I feel like, ever really mesh with my skin, which is again surprising because I feel like so many people indicated that it was so skin-like. And again, I've tried applying it on the back of my hand and picking it up with a brush that way. I have tried a million different primers, or not a million, but I've tried it with all the primers I have in rotation. Tried it with different correctors. I've tried it every which way. And I mean, I think the shade is something I don't like love. It's not the worst shade match in the world. And on initial application, it looks pretty good. Like, it definitely doesn't look bad by any stretch of the imagination when I first apply it. Maybe a little apparent, like not like seamless or anything. Like, I feel like I can see the product on my skin, but not bad. And actually, let me see if I can blend it more, but like, if you look, I hate showing all this. If you look at my upper lip, again, no product is going to set perfectly over stubble, but to me, it really emphasizes the thicker parts of it in a way that I've not had every product do. Some products do it because it's kind of a hard task for a concealer, but you know, and it's just it doesn't look that dark on camera. Yeah, it doesn't look like well, it looks like a little bit more golden than like my chest. but like next to my hands, my arm. It's not like the worst shade match, but I don't know. I just really wanted to love this product, and I was so excited to get to try it. But after months of wearing it pretty consecutively, again, trying a bunch of different stuff with it, it's just not my favorite concealer. And I am going to go ahead and set... Well, do I want to use... Okay, so this is what it looks like. I am going to put a little bit... Well, do I even... I feel like to give it a fair shot, I'm going to put a little bit of corrector, at least on my stubble area, because that's what I would do on a normal day. Usually I would put it under, oh, I guess I'll correct my nose, but I'll put it over, which also works with the NYX corrector, and I am using the NYX pink corrector, which is what I always use. Yeah, and I feel like almost instantly the NYX just is helping it sit better. But again, I've used the NYX and the Rituel de Fille combo a million times, and I don't like how it wears. But I've certainly used the NYX with a lot of other things, and I really like how it wears. I mean, I'm on my third tube of it. Like, it's a pretty staple product at this point in my collection. Okay, I'm going to set the areas I applied the corrector in real quick, and I'll be right back to talk more about other products. Alright, here's my face, set with a little bit of pressed powder. You can see that glow still coming through from the Creature of Light. That looks gorgeous. Not like, and that's the thing, like, it has such promise when I apply it. I'm like, if it stayed looking like this, I don't know if it would be my favorite concealer, because to me it still looks, I mean, it looks pretty good though, honestly. Maybe it'll wear better today, and I'll have to take all my words back. But I know what I've experienced so far with this concealer. Hey y'all, editing Cam here, because I didn't think it was fair to say all that about the concealer, and then a lot of people don't end up watching the entire video, blah blah blah. And a spoiler alert for the wear test is that the concealer actually wears really, really well, and looks the best it ever has on me after wearing it. Even though everything I just said was true, I had tested that concealer a lot and worn it a lot, and I just hadn't been happy with how it had looked. I think what my theory so far, I can't know for sure, maybe one, it was just an anomaly and it randomly looked good on me one time because all the factors aligned, and maybe it won't look good on me again. I am not sure. I filmed that yesterday. But I do think, thinking back, the things I did differently. I applied a lot of the Creature of Light, and I think having all of that extra hydration made it lay a lot better on my skin and made it emphasize the dry parts of my face a lot less, which are like the stubble areas, just because I am constantly like basically exfoliating that skin, and it's often irritated and dry and whatnot. I also have been using a new pressed powder, the Kosas Cloud set that I recently bought, and that has been setting my stubble a lot better than a lot of other powders. It blurs them really well and actually sets the makeup, but it doesn't emphasize the hair. And that is a lot different than other powders I think I have used, and I didn't even realize. So those are the two things that were different that I did that I hadn't really done as much before. I think the combination of not of making sure the skin was like extra hydrated, and then using the Kosas Cloud set is the only thing I can think of why the concealer, and it was like radically different. Like throughout the night, I was looking at it in the mirror and I was like, this isn't doing what I just said it did. So I didn't want y'all to think I was being dishonest. And I'm also aware it looks amazing on camera. Like I'm like editing this footage and I'm like, wow, I've never looked better. And I'm like, this concealer's not very good. So I just wanted to be honest about that. So the jury's honestly still out about this concealer, because that was the only time out of like, you know, I've worn it quite a few times, like all of those, that I've been happy with how it's worn. I have a history though. I will use up entire products, and at the end of their life, I'll be like, oh, I actually like it now. So I think this is just another example of like, even though I've been trying these products for at least over 2 months, there's still like some questions I have about them even after that long trial period. Let's do eyeshadow. So I have 3 eye products. One I'm not going to try or put on today. So the one I'm not going to put on is the eye Soot in Sigil. It's a warm rose champagne. Here's the thing with the samples of the eye sets, and they're very transparent about this, and I wish I had heeded that warning a little bit more. They are the only samples they offer where they are like, the sample is really only helpful in terms of color. I feel like I need to put that up. Because the texture when they put it in one of these little pods gets a lot drier and very crumbly. When I've tried to wear this on my eyes, it just doesn't look great. It doesn't look great. So I just don't feel like it's fair to put it on my eyes in a video because they're very transparent about the fact of when you're sampling this. There is a hair on my face and I am about to lose my mind. Okay. Are we okay? Yeah, we're okay. They're very transparent about the fact that when you are sampling this, it's just for a color test, really. And that is a really pretty color. And the thing with the sample pack is that you pay $15 for these samples, and then they give you back $10 of that as a credit to spend on a full-size product of your choice. I don't think it's limited to the specific products you tried. I think it's just a general $10 off of any order. Part of me almost wants to use that $10 to actually, because this is the second time I've tried to try the eye set. And when Tom gave me their old ones, like I said, they were just dried up and really hard to use. And also the packaging on those was like impossible to pick up product. And now the packaging looks a lot better and people really, really like these eyeshadows. And I feel like this is a vibe I could get behind. But I still feel like I haven't tried them. And I'm like, maybe I should just use that credit to finally try one of these eyeshadows. And I like the shade. I think it's pretty. And I would love to see what the actual texture of the product looks like. Something that was a real big surprise to me was the eye gloss that I tried. This is in the shade Apis, and the shade description is Warm Beige Multi-Iridescence. I have used this to death. It is almost gone. I was really expecting to try an eye gloss once and then be like, all right, glad I tried an eye gloss. Obviously not for me. Because the thing about this, and this one is kind of true in it, it is sticky, it creases, it is not long wear. But here's the other thing, it is undeniably gorgeous. And I have worn this as a quick one and done eyeshadow so many times to the fact that it is the only sample that I'm even close to finishing. There were weeks where this is the only eyeshadow I wore. I will add too, these samples are very generously sized. On the website, they make it sound like you're only getting 2 to 3 uses out of each of them, and that's just simply not true. This eyeliner that we'll get to in a second, I have used over 20 times easily, and I have barely made a dent in the amount they gave me. So that's something to note too. They do make it clear on the website they are not selling these as like travel sizes. They are sample amounts, but I think they are a little bit more generous than they're letting on. Anyway, she's gorgeous, and this is something I'm really considering using the $10 credit on. The eyeglasses are $39 though, so even at $29, that's very expensive for something that I'm not entirely sure about. But here's the other thing, I really do love it. My room's a little warm right now, so it's like a little bit more liquidy, but it is just the prettiest shade. And the other thing is, like, yes, you can set this with powder, just like a little bit of translucent powder to make it last a little bit longer. Some days I have used a little bit of liner on my outer lash line just to deepen that up a little. But the beauty in this is really doing it as a one and done eyeshadow. It's so easy. And I don't know if it's going to do it justice, but it just looks so good, so effortless. I love the kind of transparent beigey base on it with the sparkle. It looks so pretty. And here's the other thing. I have dry eyelids. And powder eyeshadows, certain powder eyeshadows when I use too much, even powder eyeshadows I like, can make my eyes look very bad, dry, and crepey. This actually does last all day on me. Like, at the end of the day, I still look like I'm wearing eyeshadow. I don't think if you have oily lids, that will be the case. And it does still crease on me. However, I don't hate it because I do have drier eyelids. So it almost just gives them kind of like this dewy, wet appearance that they don't really normally get with product because they don't really get oily throughout the day. They do have some texture, but they're mostly just like dry. And you know, I don't use an eye base with this. I don't use any primer. I'm honestly about to use this all up on this one application because I'm really going ham. And again, does it crease? Yes. Does it look faded throughout the day? Yes. But it's so easy to use. It's so effective. It's honestly like one of my favorite eyeshadow colors I've ever used in my life. I think it's just like so perfect on me. And I am considering buying the full size, which is, I put this in as just like, oh, this is something that I would never buy a full size of, so might as well like try it in the sample pack that I'm paying for. And this is like the lead contender from the sample pack, besides the eye set, of something for me to get the full size of, which I'm really surprised by. But it is, even just like wearing it now, like it's so pretty and so much prettier than I thought it was going to be. And I like it a lot more than I thought it was going to. Now we're going to talk about the eyeliner. This is their black gel pot eyeliner. It's in the shade Abyss. I think it's called the Black Orb eyeliner or something like that. I've been wanting to try this product for years and years and years. I was always scared off because it is, I think again, it's that $39 price tag. I think most of their single eyeshadow potted products, whether it's the eyeliners, the eye sets, the eye glosses, are $39, which is steep. Which is steep. And again, this is $43, which I think is an amazing price for the quality and how special this is. And obviously this isn't the right packaging, but a single eyeshadow being only $4 less than this, that kind of confuses me. They know more than I do, but that's just something from shopping them that I'm somewhat surprised by. This is a product I've had such a love-hate relationship with. Honestly, besides the full-size products I have, this is probably the sample I've used the most of. Again, I still have, I'm gonna have to actually like pan this. I have so much product left, even though I've used this so much. And it's a love-hate thing. I think it is so easy to use. I think gives you a really easy and beautiful wing. I think it applies like a dream. Again, it doesn't emphasize dryness on the lids, which some liners can absolutely do on me. And it's just so easy to apply. And if you mess up, you can just kind of smudge it. Here's the trade-off. The wear. And I guess that's kind of a theme, honestly. The wear is garbage. The wear of this product when it is not set by an eyeshadow is bad. Within an hour, I'm talking, it is fading. And not just like, I haven't just worn it on the eye gloss. I've worn this with full eye looks. I've worn this with no eye looks. I've worn this with primer, without. The pigment fades so quickly. Sometimes within an hour, I would notice the eyeshadow, or not the eyeshadow, the eyeliner almost looks like a gray. And it happens very, very quickly. And I could take not lasting all day. Like that I understand. Like there are trade-offs with this type of really, honestly, like blendable and like hard to mess up formula. The trade-off is a little too steep. And I don't like super care about wear time. And obviously today I'm wearing it on the eye gloss, which is something else that's not going to last all day. But again, I've worn this on so many other eyeshadow looks. But here's the other thing. I've never been able to do such a beautiful wing so quickly. That's worth something. That is worth something to me. And it isn't fully matte. It does have kind of almost like I don't want to say a gloss, but a satin quality. Because it doesn't set like at all. Like I could smudge all of this off in an hour probably, if I wanted to. But here's the thing, do I use it multiple times a week? Is this something that even with this really tiny, small packaging, I reach for along with the eye gloss? Yes. Like I have reached for these products over my full size, like single potted shadows or my full sized eyeliners. Because this eye look specifically is one I've worn a bunch because it's just so easy and so effective and makes me feel, honestly, just like kind of hot. I'm going to mess up on this side, of course. Now, lately I have been setting it with a black eyeshadow, and that helps with longevity. In my opinion, for a $39 eyeliner, I don't want to have to handhold it for longevity. So here's a close-up of this really easy eye look, and I love the base on a piss. And that's not the best wing I've ever done, but that's fine. I just love the beigey base. I mean, I guess this is kind of what Space Cowboy looks like, but in eyeglass form. But I just can't see it looking this good. Like, I almost love that my lids look oily, because my lids never really look oily. They look pretty dry usually, when I have a certain amount of eyeshadows on. Dodge, do you think that's nice when I'm trying to talk about an eyeglass? You can definitely see it's already creasing. That's a downside, but also it looks so pretty and like sexy. I don't know. All right, I'm going to finish some other steps, and then we're going to get into the last two products, which are the very light luminizers. So I got two new shades, or I sampled two new shades of the Rare Light Luminizers. Well, I don't know if they're necessarily new, but they're new to me. I have Phosphene, which is a radiant beige with a peach shift. And then I have Solar Flare, which is a rose quartz bronze. Just wanted to try more shades of this formula. I know I like this formula. I will say the real caveat here is that I don't use Icebow a lot. And I wish I need to use it more. It's like this icy beige, basically. And it's so pretty. And it's something I just never use enough. And I'll do a little swatch party of these. They're on this side. Okay, yeah. Icebow, Phosphate in the middle. It's the pinkier, peachier one. And then Solar Flare is the bronzier one. I don't know if the shades make enough of a difference. I would need two of these, to be totally honest. But it was fun to try other shades. I will say, because these are in kind of like hard to find packaging on my vanity, and I was honestly, when I was using these, really, if I was focused on finding these products, it was the eyeliner and the eyeglass I wanted to find. I didn't end up using these like a ton. I got Solar Flare just because I was like, I wonder if that could be like kind of a glowy bronzer moment or something. So I haven't used this a bunch, and it is like a little deep for me to be a highlighter, which is totally fine. But it is kind of like a cute little moment to put it over like a little bit of contour, a little bit of bronzer. Just adds a really beautiful glow, and the tone of it is really nice. Like that, almost like a, I don't know what that is. I mean, I guess it's a bronze, but there's like an element of like a desaturated gold happening with it. And it is really pretty. Would I buy a full size of this to do this with though? No, but it is just something fun to have as a sample, and I think I can use this sample up. And it's like a cute little moment. And then Phosphene, which I may have called Phosphate, is the radiant beige with a peach shift. This really goes like pinky on me, I feel like. And again, you can't like you can, I get mostly pink with this, I feel like. I really need my camera to like chill out. Okay. It's very pretty. But again, I feel like I have Icebow, and I like don't use Icebow enough as much as I would like. So these were just like fun to try out the tones. Maybe I should have tried like a blush and a lipstick or something. And the reason I didn't sample any of the blushes or the lip products from Rituel de Fille is have never been super interested in any of them. Maybe a couple of blush colors. I was really just interested to see if it would be worth me picking up more shades of, like if there was a better fit shade for me in the the Rare Light Luminizer than Icebow. And this is like a little bit icy for me, but I don't think it's worth me picking up another shade, to be honest, especially because I really love this whole New York cream highlighter I recently got. And these are very beautiful on the skin, and I feel like I look like a model in one of those Rituel de Fille campaigns with all of this on. I may go blushless, which is kind of crazy for me. All right, I'm going to put on a lip product, and then we'll talk like final thoughts. Especially now that I've put this all together in one face of makeup, I am a lot more impressed with Rituel de Fille than I was the first time. I think this is very pretty. I think their highlighting products are really beautiful, even though I don't think I'll probably end up getting a full size of Solar Flare or Phosphene. Yes. I love how my cheeks look. This has been a reminder, I already have a full-size Rituel de Fille highlighter. And, I mean, it's getting older. I do think Rituel de Fille identifies as clean. Still smells really good, but it's just a reminder I need to use this because it's gorgeous, and especially in the winter I feel like it's going to be amazing. I'll try to check in a few hours again to give you all an update on how it wore. All right, it has been about 6 hours since I recorded, went and saw Tron, had a burger, hung out with my friends. It was a lovely time. Tron was fine. It was like a fine movie. It was fun. I'm going to be so honest, this is the best the concealer has looked ever, so I feel like I have to take back, well, I don't want to take back my review. Getting a little rougher close up. But I mean, I ate popcorn and a burger, so it's gone. I mean, it's not gone, but a lot of it has faded. But it's not doing the thing that I was talking about. Maybe a little bit on my chin, but not even. Honestly, it's looking the best it's looked. Like, if I'm honest, it looks actually really nice. And I feel like my skin looks really nice still. I just was cuddling with Dodger, so that's why that is gone on my face. And he also scratched my neck right here. Thanks, Dodger. It was an accident, though. He was just excited. The eyeshadow, I think you can see the liner has, like, definitely faded. And I think kind of like transferred a little right there. The eyeglass is still there. I mean, definitely very, very creasy. I think it's kind of sexy. Highlighter looks fine. Again, I just think with the red light luminizers, I just don't know if I really have a purpose for more than one shade of those. What really intrigues me and what I really like about Rituel de Fille is that even the products I don't like feel pretty unique. Like, they're not stock formulas of things. Like, even though I don't love everything, it feels like I'm experiencing a perspective, and it feels like I'm experiencing something that I can't get at Sephora or Ulta, which is kind of what you want from an indie brand. I think some of the pricing, just to me, I'm confused by, but overall, I mean, I really enjoyed getting to play with the brand more. I really like the vibe. I really like the packaging. And I'll let you know if I end up picking up the eyegloss, but it looks so pretty. All right, and that's the video. I hope y'all enjoyed. I feel like I was all over the place in this video, so I hope everything made sense. I can't stop staring at myself. My eyes look so good. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. It helps me a lot in the wild, wild west of the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe if you want to see future content, and thank y'all so much for being here. We're gonna be okay. Bye, y'all.